Hi West Texas, Burt Sempier here, and thanks for joining us for another edition of our VCast series, Chat with the Chief, featuring none other than San Angelo Police Chief Travis Griffith. Chief, welcome back. Great to see you.
Always glad to be here, and good to see you again.
Why, thank you, sir. So kind of you. All right, so let's get started. Last night, SAPD held another community meeting, this time in the Santa Rita community. Yes, what were some of the thoughts expressed to you and the other leaders of SAPD?
Yeah, so we had the biggest concerns was traffic and property crime. Those were the biggest things that kept coming back up. The Santa Rita is right smack dab in the middle of town. It has access from pretty much any direction, and so that's been problematic. We have seen a slight decrease in regards to that was a fairly high district, that particular area, and actually gone down a little bit with some of the enforcement strategies. However, it still remains pretty high, and the traffic is still problematic. We talked a lot about the staffing of the police department, and we're hopeful to see that, in the next couple of months, we're going to have some more trained officers out on the streets, and that's going to really help alleviate some of that.
We've spoken about these community meetings ever since they started up. It seems like you might have worked your way throughout the entire city at this point.
Yeah.
Are you going to be going back through these neighborhoods?
Starting back over, and we're going to try some of the different ideas on trying to get the word out, because a lot of people, they don't follow as much social media as that we used to see. So we're going to try to use some different platforms and try to get as many people as we can. More people you have engaged, the better. And again, I think it's important to work with the community and understand their issues and find out what we can do, and that way we can police together.
One thing that's always a major concern for people, not only in San Angelo but across the country, are scams and scammers trying to take advantage of the good-hearted nature of people. And it seems all this week, law enforcement agencies across West Texas have been alerting to different kinds of scams. Unfortunately, here in San Angelo, there was an elderly resident who was taken advantage of. There was a scammer who, through one way or another, was able to get $900,000 from this resident. That scammer has since been arrested in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We always know a lot of times it's really hard to get money back, but at the very least, this person is now off the streets.
Yes, sir, and it was some just impressive police work that got there, and that was a joint effort from state and local and federal even. So that aspect of the case is important to highlight. And also, sometimes people think, well, how does that happen? They're very intricate schemes that fool people of all walks of life, and we have people that they're always trying to find a way to get one over on people, and we always encourage people to trust but verify and everything, right? We've seen businesses here locally that have been taking advantage of some scams, and they do business all the time. So at any given time, if you to think that you're not going to be a victim, I would say that might be where you're most likely to be a victim. Always be conscious that at any given time, this phone call might not be. Double check, call the business, do whatever you can. Trust but verify as you go through and conduct business. It's sad, but that's the world that we are in. It's this digital age that can make things look like something that they're not.
Also, the Better Business Bureau is a great resource
100%.
For making sure that a business that you're about to do business with is a legitimate source, and that they have the proper ratings and they're checked out through there. So Friday is a big deal for SAPD. You kind of alluded to the fact that staffing and more officers, but this Friday there are two new officers. Ellie Tackett, I apologize, and also Christian Romo will be joining the force during a swearing-in ceremony. So the ranks of the SAPD continue to grow.
Yeah, we're really excited about Tackett and Romo coming to us. They're already certified. They're going to jump right into it, start doing some police work out there, get their training. As laterals, we're looking to try to get those officers that are already certified to cut back on some of the time it takes for us to train people. And they both seem like bright young individuals that are ready to make San Angelo their home, and that's what we want to see as the family aspect of SAPD, because I won't always be here, and some as you've seen people come and go. that in itself is to know that you can get good people that are going to keep that going in 10, 15 years or whatever, right?
Ever since you became chief and we started talking and starting with Chat with the Chief,
Yeah.
one of the main goals you have had, at least early on, and it's still continuing, is to increase the ranks of
Yes, sir.
SAPD. You've had several lateral officers come over. We recently had a class from the academy graduate. How are things looking in terms of staffing? And obviously, you are still looking to add to SAPD.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And yes, it is a priority because, you know, from start to finish, if we go through a day that you take the exam, especially when we had scheduled exams, though, from the time you get there to the time that you're actually out by yourself doing any good for the public is usually about a year.
It's a long time.
And so when we have somebody that we can bring in that's already certified, they've gone to an academy or they've worked as a police officer somewhere, that provides us with the ability to take about 5 months off of that, right? Maybe a little less. It depends on where they came from, what they did. If they've never been police, then you can take about at least 5 months off. And so that's big for us, right? Because the sooner we have them trained in the appropriate knowledge and abilities, then the sooner that they're doing the good for us on their own, that's helping our city be safer. So we're always looking for laterals. So if you're out there and you know somebody that's certified and they work at another department somewhere across the state, then we encourage you to reach out. And we go to our recruiting page, call our recruiter. Kelsey Hernandez is amazing, and she's been doing a wonderful job of constantly going out and meeting people at academies and checking, working through the processes with individuals that have applied. And we're excited to see that one of our reserve officers is going to be coming back full time. So that's going to another one. So we keep pushing. We're going to do everything we can to get that number up because we need that full staff capacity to be able to really push back on crime at a total level.
You mentioned lateral officers coming from across Texas. What about out of state, or does that open up a whole nother can of worms, or do they essentially have to go through the whole academy again because they're trained, say, for Missouri law enforcement compared to Texas?
So it has to be a state that has reciprocity, that's willing to let you challenge their state test, or something will allow TCOLS, our licensing agency, has a list of different states that you can try to do that, because some laws are similar in states that are pretty straightforward. You do a little bit of studying, you can actually figure it out pretty easily. But some of them are not, right? Some of them have a little bit complicated system in place for their laws, and so that is one that kind of has to line up. But always call if you're in New Mexico or a neighboring state or something like that. I mean, odds are that there's going to be something that we can work with. Yeah.
Kind of a vague question here, but school has been back in session now for a few weeks. How's everything been going from the police department's point of view?
Yeah, I think as best it can be. A new school years always pose challenging things will come up as we go through it. But so far we're doing well. We're putting as many officers as we can out there to help with enforcement on traffic, keeping the streets safe, and then also officers into the schools. Is our biggest priority as a police department to make sure that we're staying on point with public safety and making sure that we have schools at the pinnacle of that.
Now, we know that the start of a brand new school year also means the kickoff to the high school football season, and believe it or not, games kick off this Friday. Obviously, kids and parents, grandparents, people that live in town are excited to go watch Central and Lakeview play, and other teams from across the region, really.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of talent here in Texas.
100%.
Even being from New Jersey, you know that Texas is a hotbed for high school football.
Yes, sir.
Any words of wisdom to people that are going to be going to games this season? We know that there's a lot of passion involved in football, but just any words so that everyone can stay safe and enjoy their time rooting on Central or Lakeview.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is that generally when you're there for a student that you know, right? So as a father and as somebody that works with mentoring young folks where I can tell you that they're always watching, right? They're always watching what you're doing. So keep that in the forefront, that whenever you start getting a little heated, to be what San Angelo is known for is its people, right? We're known for being one of the most friendly places around. We're all ambassadors to what it means to be from San Angelo and to be San Angelo, right? So keep that in mind. It's great to have a passion about sports and to care, but keep it classy and know that you're trying to be a good representation for your student. And so the more I think we stay focused on that, then we can realize that we'll make it up elsewhere. When there's a penalty, there's something that we get frustrated, we get mad, that we can say, we forget that play, right? If anybody's played sports, we move past that play and we're going to move on. Same thing for us. We move past that and we'll move on.
Speaking of football, the NFL season is right around the corner, and we know you are a big Dallas Cowboys fan. They'll open up against, and I hate to preface it this way, the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles.
Any thoughts on your Dallas Cowboys this season?
Well, I mean, I'd maybe dial down a little bit of how much of a Cowboys fan I do love Texas, and I always support our Texas teams, and the Cowboys are America's team, right? We'll see. I know that there's a lot of diehard fans out there, and if we can get some of that passion into the field, then we'll have a good year.
Hey, anything's possible. It's why they play the games, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any final words of wisdom, Chief?
You know, as in the simplest ways, is sometimes we can look at problems that hit us square in the mouth, but just know that this too shall pass, and that we'll learn from it. We'll see that there is a pathway that helps us be better in the hard times, and that in the fire the phoenix will rise.
Well said, Chief. San Angelo Police Chief Travis Griffith, and that will do it for another episode of our VCAS series, Chat with the Chief. We'll see you next time.